Hey guys, welcome back. And again, I'm so proud of you for being here. Most people don't even get this far. But you know what? This isn't the end in any way. This is the beginning, right? Let's get tricky here and let's say, this is not the beginning of the end. This is the end of the beginning. You got to get your ass out there and do some work. And that's going to require you to have a mindset. Obviously, everything requires you to have a mindset. But I think if we're being honest, we know that different mindsets produce different results, right? They just do. And so I'm probably not going to say anything in this video that I haven't touched on in the other videos that are part of this program, but I want to put it all into the realm of your inner game here. Because the truth is, the inner game is the foundation for the success of the outer game. That's good coffee. Let me say that again. The inner game is the foundation for the success of the outer game. Let me flip that on its head. You won't have an outer game without your inner game. You just won't. And now look, I know that back since the days of Sam Ovens and the consultant, whatever the hell, right? Everyone has tacked a mindset course onto their program. And most of them are garbage. Most of them are just straight up crap. It's just fluff. It's filler. It's meant to fill out the offer so that you feel like you're getting more for your money. Well, I used to really be resentful of those guys, not for their success, but because of stuff like that, because of, things that seemed either useless or not well put together, or like filler. But I want you, again, do a reset here with me, clear your mind and open yourself to this idea, because your thoughts will dictate your feelings. Your feelings will dictate your actions, and your actions, of course, will dictate your results. And so I don't want to draw from any sort of overly complex or academic ideas on mindset, but I do want to say a few things to you. If you are working against the thoughts that you have in your head, you're going to struggle more than someone whose thoughts in their head support them. Sometimes we call this the inner dialogue, the negative inner critic, your inner voice, whatever. But the point here is this. If you have a constant stream of negative, self-doubting sort of thoughts going through your head, and you're trying to build something substantial or real, it's like the difference between running downhill or running on sand. And if you've never done either one, I can tell you running downhill is a lot easier. It's a lot easier than trying to run on sand. But now let's take the running on sand analogy, and now let's say you've got a 40-pound backpack strapped to your back. I'm telling you guys, I'm telling you this from hard-won experience. You need to be focused on that mindset, because here's what will happen if you're not. Now, in other videos, I've talked about things like, disciplining yourself, right? There's the video where I talk about measuring twice so you can cut once, which is how do you get ahead of the feeling of overwhelm? How do you organize your day and your week so that you don't feel like you're on the spot? Well, that's a mindset tool applied to actual daily actions, right? Because the mindset is the thing that says, look, sit down one day a week for an hour and map out what you're going to do, so that you don't sort of wake up and go, oh God, I got to create content today and I don't know what to do. I got to go out and be brilliant and funny and charismatic and charming, and I got to make offers and all of this stuff. The antidote to that feeling of overwhelm is to discipline yourself. And disciplining yourself is a mindset thing. And so the mindset of $1 million community builder is the mindset of someone who is focused, who knows that problems are going to come up, who is ready for them, at least in the sense that they're going to come up, right? It's much easier to deal with a problem that you expect that's coming right toward you than one that kind of comes from behind and whacks you in the head. Does that make sense? Are we tracking all this? So I really want to emphasize this. Now, so far at this point in my career, teaching and coaching and helping and doing done for you and done with you, I've worked with around 3,000 people, give or take. And I don't say that to brag. I say that only so that you know that my sample size is relevant, right? And of the 2,500 to 3,500, whatever it is, 95% of them got slowed down, or in many cases just stopped flat-footed by their mindset. So I want to make a silly example for you. We're talking about people who have come from like 10-hour-a-day corporate jobs. They don't get to see their families enough. They're frazzled and burnt out. Or people who come from construction like I did. And if you've done construction, you know what real work is. Let's just put that out there right now. Doing 3 or 4 hours a day of strategically marketing yourself and promoting yourself into a community on social media is not real work the same way standing on a ladder in 100-degree weather in Northern California trying to paint a chimney is. They're different orders of magnitude. Do you see what I'm saying? But here's where the mindset thing comes in. Getting up on the ladder and painting the chimney is just a series of steps, no pun intended. And it's very spelled out for you. And either you're the boss and you already know to do it, or you're the employee and the boss is telling you to do it. So it's very clear cut. However, running a community or anything on social media or any of this kind of like coaching marketing stuff, service provider marketing, expert marketing is nebulous, right? It's ill-defined. And so it's very easy to find ways to talk yourself out of doing things. And many times you won't even realize you're doing it, which is why you need the mindset of $1 million community builder. And so I think I've made a pretty good case here for the importance of mindset. So now let's talk about tactical stuff. How do you create that mindset? Well, it's going to be a process of repetition mentally, repetition in execution, and faith until you see the results. Because nothing will create the mindset for you like seeing the results of the new efforts. And so you've got this gap from starting to seeing results. And that gap is the most important place where you need to have this mindset. So let's talk about that. And then I'm going to talk about the problems that happen once the results start coming. So in order to sort of stick with it until you see those results, I really, really like mantras. Now, you can do journaling. You can write it down over and over again. You can do it spoken. You can do it in your mind, which is to say speaking to yourself. I like the finger tapping thing. I learned from Tony Robbins like 25 years ago or whatever it was. And so the mantra, you can choose your own, by the way. You can make up your own mantra. And believe it or not, one of the things that ChatGPT and the other AI tools are really good at is stuff like this. You can go to your preferred AI and say, knowing me like you do, and assuming that I'm going to attempt to self-sabotage, give me a mantra that I can repeat daily that will guide me confidently through my self-doubt, right? Or whatever words you put on it, but you can use those exact words and you'll get a fantastic mantra back. And so I do it like this. It would be something like, I am disciplined, I am focused, I get my work done. I am disciplined, I am focused, I get my work done. I am disciplined, I am focused, I get my work done. This is just one of many ways, but there are scientific studies that show that there's reinforcement that comes with the tapping. And so you don't have to tap. I like the tapping. For me, I will often say the words in my mind and do the tapping that goes with them. But the thing is you want to repeat it daily, because your mind is a computer basically that just wants you to program it. And if you don't program it, it will run on the existing program. And it's really important to understand that, because Either you set the program or the program sets you. So the difference, again, between the people that succeed and the people that don't is the ones that succeed have a strong mindset or have built a strong mindset. So now that you've got an idea, and again, I can't stress this enough, you can craft your own mantras. I also want to encourage you to do even 10 minutes a day of getting your blood pumping. And this isn't me getting on a soapbox about exercise or anything like that, but especially if you do the mantra, the tapping, and you're like moving around in some way, could be walking, could be jumping jacks, could be anything you want, just get the blood pumping. But the act of getting the blood pumping while you're doing the mantra, while you're doing the tapping, really locks things in deeply. And that's super important. Some of you have got to be watching this and rolling your eyes or mentally rolling your eyes. And I was one of you. I really was. So ignore this at your peril. That's what I'm going to say, right? Because again, you're going to have doubts. You're going to have moments where you don't know the answer. You're going to have moments of profound lack of self-confidence. And setting that mindset ahead of time is how you get through it. So now let's talk about the second biggie. The second biggie is once you start to see a little success, you sell your first $5,000 thing, whatever it is, right? You sell 5 of them in a month. Again, whatever the situation is for you, a lot of us have a tendency to take our foot off the gas when we start creating momentum. You've got to be really, really careful of this, because if you take your foot off the gas, let's say with your marketing and promotion efforts for 1 week, the lag indicator, if you know what that is, the downstream effect takes 2 or 3 weeks to work itself out of the system. And so 1 week of not keeping your pipeline moving with your marketing and content efforts can cost you 3 weeks of less or no sales. So really remember that. You got to be consistent. And you've heard me say that in other videos too. This is just another way sort of applied to the idea of mindset of saying you've got to be consistent. Guys, you have to be consistent. Consistency with half-assed effort will win every time over spurts of brilliant effort. Like really. So if and when you hear people giving you these other ideas about this easy way that they've got to do this thing, just do yourself a favor. Trust one person and double down on consistency. Yeah, please do that. If you haven't figured this out by now, I really want you to succeed, right? But I also know from 10 or 12 years in this business that there's only so much I can do for you. I am giving you the tools here. I am giving you the roadmap. I am giving you the support. I am giving you the clarity. But if you don't pick it up, and you don't march downfield with it, it's all for naught. I know that's contrary to probably other courses and programs you might have purchased before or seen before, but I want to be real with you, because fanning you with sunshine and blowing smoke up your rear end doesn't help either of us. What helps us is you understand what you need to do to get to where you need to go. I want you to think of yourself as Sir Edmund Hillary, the first man to ever climb Everest, and think of me as Tenzing Norgay, the Sherpa that helped him get to the top of Everest. That's really my role. I can only do so much, and I'm giving you everything you need here. So I'm saying to you, take what I've shared in this video, install it like a computer program in your mind, and lock in a powerful mindset of $1 million community builder. And then we get to share and celebrate when you win. Okay? Hell yeah.